A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Lozzie again!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Behind the Curtain with the Granite Theater. My name is Ben Barber, and I am very excited to be joined, as always, by Nicole DiMattei and her guests from the Full Monty this week. Nicole, who do we got?
We have James Stacy to my right, and Tamar. Tamar, I don't know your last name.
Hail.
Hail, Tamar.
And I want to say we also are joined today by hold on a second, buddy. We also are joined today by our intern Caesar, who's here from Westerly. You're a senior at Westerly High School?
Yeah.
Okay, you can actually bring that microphone up and say hello.
Yeah, I'm a senior at Westerly High School, whatever benefits that brings.
Well, thank you so much. He's going to be in charge of that. And we also have another guest today who's going to take over my role because I'm going to edit some videos while this is happening.
Oh,
so,
multitasking.
DJ, we have a friend of the family now at Granite Theater, DJ Gadget, who is here. So, DJ, you're going to take this headset from me. There we go.
Awesome.
Hello, Westerly.
Yeah.
All right, Nicole, take it away.
Hi. Yeah, welcome. So, we open a show in like a week and a half. Oh my gosh. Hey, you want to know something really exciting? We have about 20 tickets left for opening weekend.
Wow, that's awesome.
I mean, the
good news.
police are excited. I'm gonna let them do their thing. But yeah, so we only have 2 weekends of the Full Monty. We started early this year. In general, the Granite usually opens around like March 22nd, but I love how I was like in general March 22nd. We started early so that we could add an extra show for our 25th anniversary season. So we are opening on March 7th, but we only have 2 weekends of the Full Monty, and because there were total about 150 tickets left, we added an extra show.
Yay.
So yes, we now have 7 performances of the Full Monty, and we added Thursday, March 13th. So there are plenty of tickets left for Thursday, March 13th. But if you want to see it this weekend, please get out there and, fill up those 20-ish seats, because that would be awesome if it was a
right?
sold out weekend, right?
Mhm.
First show of the season.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a week and a half away. Like, I think we can do it.
Yeah. of course.
Westerly, let's do it. I have no idea where my camera is, but Westerly, it's that one. Hi, Westerly, let's do it. Let's sell out opening weekend of the Full Monty. So right before we went on air, we were James and Tamar were asking me what we were going to talk about today, and I said Tech Week. And what did you say, Tamar?
I said, what is Tech Week? A week and a half from opening. What is Tech Week?
But Tamar, this is not your first show. It's your first show at the Granite, but not your first
It
show.
is my first show at the Granite, but the last show I did was 20 years ago exactly. And I was in college. So I've forgotten a lot, and a lot has obviously changed. So
There's always been Tech Week in theater.
Yeah.
I don't know if that ever changed.
That doesn't mean she was paying attention. It was college.
Well, this is true. So what I remember from Tech Week is that it was basically like running the show with everything.
Yeah.
The lights and the music and all of it.
Lights, sound, music,
That is
cue to cue to cue.
Yes.
Getting the tech team up to speed. So it may not necessarily be running through the lines, but I stand in this position and then I stand over here to make sure that the lights are ready and cued for that change when we actually do the show.
Oh, so we may not run the lines. We may just be in
So
place.
For the most part, tech starts with a cue to cue, which means that the lighting and sound, the stage manager has a list of all the cues that are called during the show, which are light, sound, any sort of special effects. And we would practice going through those cues. So if it's Q7, we would give the line before, go Q7. They'd hit the lights, see how that works, run that a few times, and then we go to Q8, which could be 3 pages later. But that is just the start, and it's not even, it's like the middle of tech. So before that, you do have to, get the lights going, get the sound going. And, I have this like amazing memory of high school, the one show I did in high school. Yes, prior to going into musical theater, I did 2 shows in my entire life.
What?
One in junior high. It was called The Phantom of the Country Opera.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And then in high school, we did The Wizard of Oz.
Is that different than the Phantom of the Opry? Because the Phantom of the Opry is a real.
I did not know about the Phantom of the Opry.
You gotta just. You don't spend nearly enough time just scrolling MTI. That's you need to do that.
Wow, I wonder. Maybe it's been updated in the last 25 years or whenever I was in middle school. I just remember like having a pillow and like laying in the middle of the auditorium while they did lights. So we try to make tech a little less annoying for actors and a little less time consuming because we understand that you have a life. What we will do before the actors come in is go through light and sound cues to make sure that we have a basic idea of what they are. We'll work with the director on that, and then we bring the actors in and test them, and that's when you guys come in for this cue to cue, and then we run them a few times because then sometimes you run the show and you're like, oh, missed a light there. That would have been nice. Why are they standing in the dark?
Right.
I think my favorite part of Tech Week when I was in a show was like, Bradley, I don't like the way that sounds. Can you find a different sound for that? Like,
wow, considering I directed that show.
Yeah.
Was that what I said?
Yeah. You were like, I don't like the way that
like?
sounds.
The toilet flushing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the big one. You were like, no, that is terrifying. No.
It is a musical also. So
Yeah.
Do you have a sits probe?
No, so we are using tracks.
Okay.
So we have a number of musicals this year. So while I love using live bands, we have a bit of a space issue.
A little bit.
And a budget issue, right? Because while our actors are everyone who comes in gets a stipend, musicians get more. And so kind of have to pick and choose which shows that we can have a full band with. And Full Monty had such a big set and so many set changes that we couldn't fit a band in. And so we decided to go with tracks. So we will not be having a sits probe for this show because they have been working with their performance tracks. So they're pretty good at them.
I love that, actually. I love that those are available now because they weren't always available. And I would cry at the expense of live band preferable, always preferable. Monetarily not always feasible, and also space wise when you're trying to do a big show at the Granite Theater and you don't have room for an orchestra, that can be very challenging. So
yeah. And again, for Drowsy Chaperone, we had to take out a full row of seats in order to put a band in. And as I said, we don't have many seats left for Full Monty. So it wasn't really an option to do that. We had 15 shows for Drowsy Chaperone. So we kind of built that in.
Right.
But,
so when you have a band, you take out that first row. There's no orchestra pit.
There is no orchestra pit. Correct.
Okay.
It's different. So bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
They've done it in the past where they've put the band upstage.
Okay.
Or they've done in the past where they put the band backstage, which is honestly not great for many reasons, but one of which is that we don't have a monitor system. So a professional theater would have, the cameras up that the actors could see. So they know where their cues are. You guys will actually be looking at your musical director who will give you the cues from the booth.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's actually something that's really exciting here is oftentimes when we have tracks, the the soundboard op will run them, but our musical director is actually running them, and she's going to be cueing the actors. And there's a lot of vamps built into these tracks. So
Who is the musical director for the show?
Mariah Parrott.
Um,
She's been great.
What other plays has Mariah Parrott music? Sorry.
That's an excellent
I'm-
question. You know, this is her first time at the Granite, so I'm not quite sure of what other shows that she's musical directed. Do you know her?
No.
No.
I'm not. I don't usually. I try to get into theater. I just wasn't my jambo.
Wasn't your jambo.
Not
No,
everyone's
I'm not
jambo. I love that word though. Yeah. So
I do think for whatever reason that theater wasn't your jambo though, because I in high school wanted to be part of the dance team, and Nicole's met me. That's probably just not in my future. But I had such a bad experience that it was not in my future. If I were to at that age have come to Granite, and well, you weren't here, but if I went to New York City and met Nicole, I feel like her teaching style is completely different than any other professional I've ever met in my life. Ben, what is going on?
It just went to a close up of me instead of you, and I was very upset by that, so I turned it off.
So yeah, I think if anybody's at all scared, intimidated, I don't know what I'm doing, Nicole is the person to go to. Find something she's directing and be in it.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of lied earlier. I have tried to get into a theater play, until I embarrassed myself in front of the casters, because I saw the play. It was, and then you know how long I had to practice my lines for singing. The night before.
Oh,
just
ouch. Yeah.
yeah.
That's rough. I think even when I've made mistakes, Nicole made me feel like those mistakes were worth making.
I mean,
yes,
Yeah.
I love
That's a nice
that.
way to put
Yeah.
that.
I have a problem reading words and translating them into speech. So sometimes I'm like, the restaurant, sorry. Like, and I totally screwed up an audition, and it was worth it because I think Nicole told me, like, you have to just be you on stage, like, it's okay, calm down. And it wasn't well, you're just not your expertise, blah 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 blah. It wasn't so formal. It was like you're gonna get this, you're gonna be fine. And I do feel fine now in auditions. I audition for things I don't want, hoping that they'll call me so I can tell them no.
I think that's a really interesting point about the Granite from my past and being involved in different community theaters. A lot of times you will find that community theaters are almost incestual, the way that they get the same people for the same shows, and the same director is acting in this show. And the Granite is widely accepting and widely it is a community theater, but it is a community, meaning anybody new has come in, and the two shows I've been in, each show is its own family and completely different people. I've only worked with one person twice, everybody and huge giant casts, but it's very accepting, and it's a great place to explore your own talents, even talents that you haven't tried before. It's very accepting.
And I mean, I have. Besides that, I used to play a role in a theater show back in elementary school. It was called, I think it was the Game Shakers, some sort of thing. It was so fun. I had the best role ever. I was a background prop. I sat there
Tree number 2.
Those are very important roles.
Yeah,
They
I
are.
know.
Yeah.
I know, but it's very easy to devalue yourself when you're tossing the dice back and forth instead of doing
100%,
the actual act. Well, you're acting, but instead of doing the front out talking.
Right.
Yeah, the lead roles. But honestly, you can't do a lot of shows without ensemble members.
Mhm.
Yep.
This show specifically, the Full Monty, is so heavily ensemble. Like, you guys are technically both ensemble members, but
Right.
you have a bunch of different roles, and often ensemble members are in more of the show than a single lead is.
Yes, absolutely.
James, tell us about your main role.
So my main role is Kino, who is a Chippendale stripper, which is really fun and kind of exciting. In the first 2 minutes of the show, I start in a suit and I end in a thong.
This is my favorite scene.
Was that part of the audition process?
Yeah, I totally stripped for it. No, I'm kidding. No.
No.
When I auditioned for the show, this show is. I was a vocal performance major in college, was one of my majors, but this show is very high tenor male leads. And I was not about to audition for that because I'm not a high tenor. But it's a hilarious and a great show that I wanted to be a part of. And so
Now, Steve Spartano just said, hearing James in my earbuds is quite the experience. ... The voice.
Oh, wow. And for Steve to tell you.
He has that
That's the
sexy
voice.
stage
Steve.
presence and that sexy voice.
There you
Yes.
go. There you go.
thanks, Steve.
But yeah, so James's character is actually the entire reason for the show. The men of the show have all been laid off from the steel mill, and their wives, significant others, all the women in town all work. And at the mall, I know, right? But they go and enjoy a night out because they can afford to. They have jobs. And they go and see Buddy Kino, and
In all his glory.
at all his glory.
Yes. Glory.
And it kind of sparks this idea about how much money he's making and how they could make some fast cash.
Yes.
Fast cash.
Yeah.
$20.
Now, this has given me some idea. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So, how did you feel about the role? Like, how did you feel about the ending position for your character? And
So I am widely comfortable. I have done.
listen.
I have done underwear fashion shows, and so being in only my underwear or less on stage is not something I'm uncomfortable with.
Okay.
Ice.
No, and the other really cool thing we had with this show is that we had an intimacy coordinator come in
Brilliant.
and chat with the actors.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
about,
So, what exactly does an intimacy coordinator do?
yeah, great question. Do either of you want to take
I mean,
this?
so the show is full of sexual innuendos, right? But
That
in
makes sense.
today's world, especially now that we are conscious, we should have always been, but of making people not uncomfortable. The intimacy coordinator was really great in bringing us together and allowing us to understand our own boundaries and allowing us to have grace for other people's boundaries. So, like I said, I've done shows where I've been scantily clothed. And I'm very comfortable with being touched. But if I have a really bad day at work and I'm just in a grumpy mood and somebody touches me and it just for some reason sets me off, that intimacy coordinator helped us come up with words to say, okay, this is where I'm at today. Well, let's not go there. And, there are some scenes where
Let's not go.
Tamar grabs a man's nuthers.
Oh, yeah.
And so what if he's not comfortable that day, or what if he is? And so how to have those conversations in an open and safe setting.
Oh, that makes sense.
And how also to communicate it, right? Because a lot of us aren't used to communicating it in healthy ways. And also, I think one of the important things that she brought to the table was that it's okay for you to be uncomfortable. It's okay for you to be scared. It's okay for you to be having a really awkward moment. But really, the only way to get over that is to go right through the middle of it. And
Yep.
these are all things that we should have been taught, right, at some point, but we're not. But in this setting of where there are all these, almost nudity and sexual innuendos, it's even more important. I mean, I thought it was great. And there were some chuckles, and we all got a little bit silly, but at the end of it, it was very beneficial.
Agreed.
Is Amy Elizabeth in the show?
No.
No? Oh, Amy Elizabeth said, I watched the movie yesterday just to get myself the memory of it, my memory about this show.
Yeah, so the movie is a little different in the fact that the show takes place in New York and the movie takes place in England.
Oh,
And then
interesting.
Yes.
and then the movie has like kind of pop tunes where the musical is all original music. But otherwise it has a lot of the same heart.
What's interesting is that the film has very few women.
Right.
And in the show, at the Granite, the women are very important to the story.
Always.
Yes.
Always, yes. But if you're going to the Granite after seeing the film and thinking, okay, it's going to be, like that, it is going to be like that. It must be so much better.
Mhm.
Yes. Because there are women.
It's the only reason why I'm going.
You guys performed a number, I believe, this past week at the
Yeah.
Westies. How was that?
Yeah. The Westies was amazing.
Westies?
Yeah. So the Westies was something that the Chorus, the United, and the Granite, we had lunch like about 6 months ago and kind of started chatting about ways that we could collaborate. And this was something that came up about just how important it is to honor our volunteers because our organizations, are only survive through our volunteers. And it just, it was better than my imagination could have made it. Like it was such a wonderful night. We had about almost 300 people there. And we had the Chorus performed, the Granite performed, and the United Music School performed, and
A band called Pop.
They're
great.
we gave speeches for each of the winners, and I got pictures taken. Everyone got dressed up. It was
fun.
It was amazing. And yes, the Granite performed a number. This was really hard for me because the stage manager kept saying, "What song are we doing?" And I kept going, "I can't do that one. Can't do that one. Can't do that one." But it's mine. I'm sorry. Who is calling me? They should know I'm on the air.
If you're not watching, are you really a person?
Hello, son, I'm on the air.
But yeah, so we did a number called Life with Harold, which I really, really liked because 70% of the cast is in that number anyway. So that was, whereas a lot of the other numbers are like just the women or just the men or just James in all his glory.
That might make the show worth going to.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Tamar, you were in that number. So how was it transferring from our stage to the United stage?
Well, first of all, I'm not in that number in the production. So we did add some extra cast members just so you could
'Cause it's
see
fun.
more of us. Yeah. But there was maybe once or twice. Well, I thought I was going to fall into the piano over at the United. So there was the piano on one side and the drum set on the other. It was definitely smaller. But it worked out absolutely okay. Even when we did the sound check, we thought, okay, our steps are going to be smaller. We're not going to be swinging each other around. And I thought it worked out really well. And everybody looked good. It was an incredible number.
Yeah.
Now, James, did you go the full Monty for the Westies?
That's classified.
I did not go to full Monty for the Westies. I stayed fully clothed and in the audience cheering on my cast members.
Okay. All right. Fine. I ask because 19 years ago when we did our second award show, I may or may not have performed "Gotta Get a Gimmick" from Gypsy.
Yeah.
I was Electra, if anybody's wondering. I had a full suit on, and we wrapped me up during the thing. We wrapped me up in Christmas lights.
Oh.
So yeah, it was
Wow.
meant to be cheeky. They did the school did actually the high school did Gypsy, which felt weird,
Do we have
but the
pictures of
high
that?
school did Gypsy. Yeah, I do actually have pictures of it. I'll find a picture.
Yeah,
Did they turn the lights on?
They did, yes.
How hot
Yep.
was that?
Actually, during Gypsy, speaking of stripteases in shows, the
Whoa.
well, that's the point of that show as well. I it was after I graduated, a couple years after I graduated, and I went back to assistant direct. And hey, and it's weird having 3 producers in the room. There's more producers than guests today. The
if you count Roxy.
you got to count Roxy as a producer. No, so the spoiler alert, there's a big strip scene at the end of Gypsy, and you don't see anything. But the gimmick is that you kind of do, and then she hides behind the curtain and throws the rest of her clothes out. And something happened, someone got sick, something happened backstage, and someone went, Ben, you got to go do the curtain for this. So this girl is throwing her extra clothes out. And I had never done curtain and pulled the curtain the wrong way.
Oh, Ben.
So
Fired.
on the moment of the strip scene where the curtain's supposed to close so you don't see anything, I pulled it the opposite way.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, brother.
And that is why we have
This
tech
guy's-
rehearsal.
And I would just like to say that I never touched a curtain again.
Oh god.
And also, I'm sorry, Lauren. And I think that my penance for that was that I had to perform "Gotta Get a Gimmick."
So wait, was this I'm dense as lead. So was this a high school?
It was a high school. It was a high school play at Cheraho. Yeah.
And my question is, why was she actually throwing her clothes?
Wait,
I'm
so
assuming
she
she
was
wasn't full.
No. She was fully clothed.
Yeah.
Or mostly
Oh,
fully clothed.
You just took away the theater of the mind.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm sure
what
she was in
happening?
like a bathing suit or something.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yes. She
that
wasn't.
was,
No.
that was made to that would never be performed today in high schools probably.
Probably not.
I bet it still is.
Oh no, they definitely still
Do
perform Gypsy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great show.
I went to like the
Yeah.
art high school, and like we did not do good shows like this.
Oh.
I don't know. It's
Interesting.
sad.
We didn't do shows where people stripped.
Well, no.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they
Let me
had a
guess.
better.
You did
Understanding.
the cartoonishly generic Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I
It's
knew
probably
it.
why I don't like Shakespeare.
Cartoonishly generic.
So anyway,
The full Monty,
James.
Nicole, get us
Yeah.
back.
So you did Our Town last year,
Yes.
which was not a musical,
No.
and now you're doing the full Monty.
Yes.
Tell us the differences.
Oh, huge. So yeah,
Good talk.
yeah. Our Town is a very intimate and moving play. It's a very serious drama. It's not a comedy. Full Monty is hilarious. I mean, I cannot get through rehearsal without cracking up the audience members, and they're on stage perform. It's lively, it's entertaining, it's and of course there's also music and singing and dancing, which wasn't in Our Town either.
There was a little singing.
There was a little singing. That's true. I sang. Ooh. But yeah, the energy of rehearsals is completely different because it's a different show. You're not driving the same emotions for the audience.
Was that a smaller cast? I've
No,
never seen
it's
Our
about
Town.
It's about the
it
same
was about the
size.
same
Okay.
size, yeah. So they were both wonderfully large casts,
Mhm.
and yeah, no, but that's a really great point that the energy would be completely different. Yeah, the show is just so fun.
So the full Monty is not going to make me cry, right?
Only
Because
from
Our
laughing
Town
so hard,
definitely
maybe.
did.
Yeah, there's a good amount of heart. you know.
There's a
Mhm.
very touching moment in the
Yeah.
funeral scene. There's a very touching moment.
There's a funeral scene in Full Monty.
Yeah, Kino dies. I'm kidding.
Wait,
I'm kidding.
No, I've seen this show.
yeah, no. So Tamar, what was the show you did 20 years ago?
Joseph and his amazing Technicolor
Dreamcoat.
Dreamcoat. And I was
Joseph.
ensemble.
That's a
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. It was great.
Mm.
Also a huge cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was when I was my first year of college in San Diego. So a long time ago. Yeah.
So, difference between college and then community theater.
Well, I mean, there's obviously a lot more maturity with adults that are in their, 30s and 40s and beyond.
I never got that.
But if you're lucky. But I think probably the biggest difference is that the people who are in community theater, like, they really want to be there. They are I have children. A lot of the other cast members have children. We have children. We have careers. And we take this huge amount of time out of our lives. I see it as such a blessing myself. And I am privileged to be here. But I think that that's the biggest difference is we all want to be here every day. Even if we're tired or worn out or we're just, we're dropping lines or we're not getting the choreography, we're there because it lights up our soul.
Yep.
And that is huge.
It's so special, isn't it?
It is something else. And on Friday, I learned that Robert, who is one of the leads, he plays Dave, that he also had just returned after 20 years. I was shocked because he's really good.
Mhm.
And I thought to take that much of an absence from the theater and then come back, it's still in there. I'm telling you, it is still in there. You can be 20, 30, 40 years.
Yep.
And what's great about community theater is it allows it to come forth. Like all that, that you thought maybe this talent you didn't have anymore, this passion you didn't have anymore. It just needs somebody to light the fire. And it's so magic.
It is.
That was a wonderful show you just put on.
You think high school theater is like a passion-sucking vampire?
What?
What? Well,
No,
I
college.
actually did. I didn't do theater in high school, but I did it in college. And I think what I'm trying to say, the biggest difference between now and then doing it in college is that, well, first of all, the maturity levels are and the artistic development is at quite a different level.
Yeah.
But also
that makes
in
sense.
college, you're doing it because maybe you think it's the easy major, or maybe you always wanted to and you're just trying it out, but you're not fully committed to it. I mean, there are some that are, but for the most part,
When I tried to go into theater, keywords. Anyone wants to go to theater? It's not easy.
Yes.
It is not.
Yeah,
that
was
is very
truth.
true. It is
The only
not
part that's
easy.
easy or close to it is being the tree in the background. And if you don't want to be the tree in the background,
Oh my God,
step up
Pete,
your
I miss
game.
you. Pete was tree number 2 in his high school production or something.
I mean, no offense, anyone who's listening, if you were the tree in the background.
Can I just say,
Trees are
actually,
important.
last night I watched the SAG Awards, and I believe it was Colin Farrell Colin Farrell won an award, and it was for leading actor in something. And he stood up and he went, a lot of the we put numbers on a call sheet and there's leading actors and day players and all of that stuff, but that's all bull.
Nope.
I could say it, but I'm not going to. Because every single person in that film is as important as the last. Every single one of them, any actor that's on screen or on stage makes the universe, makes the world that you're in, and you need every single one of them to bring their best to the performance for it to really be what it needs to be. So if you don't have that person playing tree number
Yeah.
2,
And honestly,
You're
like
not-
specifically about trees, because we did the chorus of Westerly's, the celebration of 12th night. We had 7 trees in the cast, and the ambiance, they were literal trees. This was
Yep.
fascinating
Yep.
to me. They held literal trees, and they were choreographed, and they had like this. Every entrance, every exit was a dance, and they set the scene so beautifully. And had you taken those trees away, like it just wouldn't be the same. And so, yeah, no,
The way they moved on
Yeah,
the show
right.
made the audience feel like they were traveling. It was
Yes.
brilliantly done.
I never thought about it like that.
you're
I mean,
welcome.
I understand.
That's why I'm here.
I understand that.
See what I'm saying?
I understand that every part of like I said, I'm part of the culinary, right? So I understand
Why
very
aren't you
well.
making us breakfast?
No, where my omelet?
Caesar wants his own cooking show, and I'm
Awesome.
down.
I suck at cooking with eggs. Thank you. I cannot make an omelet for the life of me.
Well,
but-
with an attitude like that,
And also, it's also very expensive to try now. So
oh, yeah,
Oh,
thank
gosh,
you.
that's
Thank
true.
you
So-
for-
moving on.
can we show the picture of Ben?
Oh yeah, I was gonna save this for the end,
No,
guys. I found
way.
the. Hold on, we'll turn this for them. All right, guys, we got the gotta get a gimmick. Again, it was for an award
Oh my
show
gosh,
at the high school,
amazing.
and this is the beginning of it. So we came out and we were like, I don't know what's going on, and then we walked over to the piano, and he started playing it and made us do it, and then all of a sudden we had props. And then they wrapped me up in Christmas lights, and as you can see, my friend Preston there in the background eagerly plugging in the Christmas lights.
Like, I wonder if this is safe.
Yeah.
Is he gonna die?
Maybe.
So that was that.
Reminds me of
So
Einstein and
good.
Topsy.
Also, I love Johnny Boy said slowly unlock. Hold on, I can't. Said slowly unlocking your backstory in each episode of this.
Yep.
I know. I've now shown you guys a pseudo striptease in this, and you. Luckily, nobody but Nicole was here for this a couple weeks ago. We saw my butt.
Mhm.
We saw my
From
butt in
America,
my
from
senior
Odd
year
Couple.
yearbook.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
the BCEU. Oh wait, the Ben Cinematic Universe. Next movie, Avengers Ben Game. Where,
Wow,
Avengers
that was good.
Raptors-
Caesar, you're hired.
That was-
You're hired.
wow.
All right, Nicole, get us back on track.
Yeah, back to the theater.
Johnny Boy's John Hart, by the way.
So,
Hello,
Oh.
John.
Hi, John.
could I know something else about the show or
Please.
the theater? Sorry. What era does this take place in?
Great question. So I believe that this
The
production's
screen.
set in the now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Modern day.
Modern day. Yeah. So the show was written in 1999. It was on Broadway in the year 2000, which is one of the reasons we're doing it, because all the shows that we're doing this year were on or off Broadway in the year 2000 when the Granite opened. But this production, honestly, so from like our standpoint, it's fine that it's 2020 as opposed to 2000 or what 2025. Dear Lord, just
I mean, there are definitely some lines where if they don't get changed, there's a line about the VCR, right? Everybody's like,
right.
"What? What's a VCR?" And
Right.
and then Jerry says a line about a tape, and I'm thinking,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
my children wouldn't know what that is.
There's also, they sing one of the songs called Michael Jordan's Ball.
Right, right.
I don't. Does Michael Jordan even still play?
No.
No.
But this
Why
is-
would Ben? Why would I know this?
He played in the 90s.
Oh.
Michael Jordan was retired within 3 years of that show. Don't stop putting me on camera. I don't need
You're
to.
very important.
Hi, everybody. Wait, I don't need to be on camera.
Wait,
DJ, take me off. Thank you.
Wait, wasn't he in Space Jam?
That was 96 or 7.
Wow.
Oh, I just saw it the other day.
So anyway, yes, the show has a lot of 2000 references.
Mm-hmm.
So between 2000 and now is kind of when it's set.
Well, what you'll find
That's
that
present day.
I mean, I think if you look back through generations, like the 70s had a look, and the 80s had a look, and the 90s had a look, but the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, I think, especially with internet, the way I dressed in 2000 is the way I dress today.
Yeah.
Oh, the way I dressed in 2000 is not the way I dress today.
No,
there was a
but-
lot more jelly bracelets. I think I used
Jelly.
pop tops for earrings.
My girlfriend and I have this conversation all the time. I think not much has changed for men's fashion.
I added
like a
baby
normal-
powder to my makeup.
What?
Wow.
Nicole is looking horrified at
Say
every
that in
word
your
the DJ
makeup?
says.
Oh my god, I have to find pictures. That would be a hilarious show.
But I think that those little idiosyncrasies just add to the
Yeah.
charm
Oh,
of it.
that's a word I
If
haven't
someone
heard in a long
says,
time.
But it is
VCR,
funny
like, it's
because
funny.
because one of the props that's needed is apparently I saw in the show report that Betty needs a phone. Who is Betty? Who plays Betty?
Joel.
Yeah.
Joel, that he needs a phone. And so it's kind of one of these things where like, oh, do we get an iPhone? Do we get a flip phone? Right. Like that part is actually dependent on,
Right.
you know,
I had a phone that
when this takes
was like
place.
the size of a glucose monitor. And it was just numbers. Like if you were like texting hi, it was like
Like glucose.
4
Are you talking about like the Nokia phones?
yeah 4
I think
right.
Okay,
right,
I
everyone
yeah,
here,
it's one
but
of those.
everyone here,
1, 2,
but
3,
Caesar
4,
knows
yeah.
what
1, 2, 1, 2,
T9
1, 2, 1, 2.
is, and yeah, you would text in T9.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Anyway, so yeah.
You're
Do you guys feel ready?
I feel mostly ready. The only parts I'm feeling maybe not as ready are the entrances and exits. And then of course we, threw another chicken into the pot last weekend when we were doing the scene changes and Tamar, you take this off and that. And I'm like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah. So that's another thing. So depending on like, and this has nothing to do with professional or amateur theater. It often just has to do with space, budget, touring. So do the actors also act as stagehands? And in this show with a 19-person cast,
Yes.
there's no room
Right.
Correct.
for a backstage crew. So the actors are also acting as the stagehands and moving scenery and doing the scene changes. But again, that has nothing to do with amateur theater because we've often had shows where we did have backstage hands. And then I've definitely performed in professional shows where we also acted as the stagehands because especially on tour, because you can only have like a certain amount of people in the van. But yeah, so but yeah, you guys are now, and that is choreography.
Yes.
Because
Right.
because if that lasts too long, the audience goes, "Ugh."
Right.
And you referenced earlier, this is a giant set. I mean, the scene change, like there's 2 toilets and a urinal and a sink, and that's just for one scene. Like there's a car, there's a whole car.
There is
There's
a car.
There is
I
a
love
love that scene.
I'd
Wait,
hate to be toilet number 2.
I'm very excited for your cooking show, Caesar.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant.
My cooking show.
Caesar
Where's
not
Pete?
salads.
Can Pee?
Anyway, granitetheater.org. Get your tickets and also get season tickets.
Season tickets. This is kind of like your last chance to get season tickets. Again, $210 for adults, $200 for seniors, and $190 for students. That's insanely cheap.
What if we're a student of
That's too
Nicole?
expensive for me.
Caesar,
Your mom
Caesar.
would pay.
Hold on. DJ, put Caesar on camera.
Leave my intern alone.
Caesar, no. I'm not gonna. It's table. Yep, there we go.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so the headphones, Caesar, can you look to the side? The headphones that Caesar is wearing right now are more expensive than
Yeah.
a season ticket to the Granite. These
Oh yeah.
AirPods were more expensive than a season ticket to the Granite. I'm just looking around
Putting it in
trying
perspective.
to.
I love it.
Right,
Yeah, the camera, the actual camera, this one. Hey, hi. This actual camera, 2 times as expensive, and it's a decent camera.
I'm pretty sure each
Um,
one of these microphones is a season ticket to the Granite.
Each one of these microphones is 2 season tickets to the Granite.
I was gonna say.
Wait, you're-
This camera right here, 4 season tickets to the Granite.
Just get your season tickets.
The
please, or
bill
he
that
won't
goes
stop.
to this phone.
You're
In-
telling me that these earbuds are more expensive than a season ticket?
Yeah.
Well, I better be cleaning my ears.
Yeah.
This season 2 is, I can't wait.
Yeah.
The shows that are coming up. I mean, Full Monty is just, it's a great show and it's a lot of fun, and come to be entertained because you will.
Absolutely.
But then following up with the Allergist Wife and then the Laramie, the shows coming up this year, like I'm so excited. I'm just so excited.
Yeah, it's a really great season. We are insanely busy. Taylor, the Allergist Wife, has been rehearsing for about 3 weeks now. And then we have Laramie Project auditions this weekend. And then in 2 weeks are auditions for the youth musical, Peter Pan Jr. Today is the last class of movement for musicals for my kids program. They're adorable. So it's going by so fast. We just added a fairy and pirate day in July.
A fairy and pirate what?
Day for kids. So it's like kindergarten through
I know,
fourth
I'm
grade.
upset too.
And yeah, it's just jam packed, awesome. It's an awesome season. And again, the support. It's supporting your community. It's supporting the theater. It's everything. It's supporting the people in your community.
Yes.
So
And look, with all like the volatility and just the stuff that's going on in the world, like this is when you need your community. This is when you need to be part of your community. You need to be supporting your community because that's going to be the stability that you need to just get through whatever we're going to have to get through in the next year or so.
yes.
Yes.
Actually, during the Great Depression, theater tickets were the one reprieve that people sought after.
Interesting.
Like
Love
if you
that.
couldn't
Me
buy food,
too.
you couldn't buy clothes, but theater tickets were really important.
Interesting.
Wow.
You asked earlier if we were ready.
Yeah.
In theory. But I mean, it's interesting. Yes, we're only a week and a half out, but I've never actually done my scene actually taking off clothes. I've in theory taken them off, but until I actually have a jacket that I rip off, I think it'll work. We'll find out. We've got a week and a half though. That's
Shane is amazing.
According to
coming.
Einstein's theory of relativity, you are indeed ready for Monty's strip thing.
Thank you, Einstein.
Is
And
that
thank
guy?
you, Caesar.
Yes.
But you know what I love so much about James, we choreographed your song, the very first choreography rehearsal, and the song is so weird.
very weird.
It has like no I went and wrote down like where the bumps are, and it was like 3 5 2 7 9. Like it was just insane. But you know that song so well that he was able to have a full-on conversation with me while like acting, and he'd just be talking, and then he'd be like, and then so I'm wondering, do I go over here for the and like, it was amazing. So you are prepared. You just need to add the clothes.
I need to
or
take
take
them
them
take
off.
them off.
6 in one hand, half dozen in another.
Yeah. Like you said, that song, like most choreography is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 2 2 3, and this is like you said 3 5 7 9 1 4. Like
2,
what?
4, 6, 8. What do we
But
appreciate?
it's not. That would if it was on
It's like
the
comparing
2
a
4s, if
number
it was
broadcast.
on the 1 3s, that would be something. But it's not at all, and it's different every single bar. Like anyway,
It's
that song
fantastic.
stressed me out a little bit, but he does the worm.
I do the worm.
Can you do the worm here?
Puts the work
Probably
in.
not in this room.
Yeah, not much room.
No, we don't have any
to dance
room.
with.
You don't know what the worm is, Caesar? I don't think you're old enough to be in this.
If I did the worm, I wouldn't get off the ground.
That's true.
Okay, so he knows what the worm
So
is.
he knows what the worm
He
is.
knows what the
but-
worm
well,
is.
James
He's
gets
holding
off
out
the
on us.
ground.
Yes,
He
he
gets
does.
on the
If I tried
ground.
doing the worm, I'd be doing the fish flop.
The fish flop.
That's talent too.
Oh,
It is a
but yeah,
talent.
long story short, it's a super fun show, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It is. I'm
So
Like
super
a week and a
excited.
half. You guys are in such a great place, and you have so many rehearsals still.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday we're having another. People are coming over. Come hang out with us.
Party.
We're having business after hours for the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce and the Eastern Connecticut
Ooh.
Chamber of Commerce, doing a joint business after hours where people will come. We're gonna talk and give them food and ask them for
I was just about to ask
sponsorships,
for that.
and they'll perform they'll perform again.
That's
A
awesome.
little ditty.
So that's
Ditty.
business after hours. When is that?
5 o'clock on Wednesday.
5 o'clock on Wednesday.
You can register at mysticchamber.org.
Just
That's open to the
figured out
public.
where Weirdsterly could do a business after hours.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, and then last Wednesday we did our first backstage pass, which was really, really cool. So our season ticket holders had the option to upgrade, we've been talking about, to a backstage pass. And so we had about 12-ish people there. And then we're going to, now moving forward, we'll open it up. We'll do it about 2.5. It's the Wednesday. It's 2.5 weeks before every show opens. But we'll open it up for $10 each. And then, the actors perform. Like, they didn't perform. That was the really cool thing. They rehearsed. And so, so with a group of people watching, they rehearsed with terrible work lights and no costumes. And then we stopped and we fixed things. And then we had a Q&A.
That's a great opportunity for anybody who is kind of second guessing whether or not they want to be in the theater to come and see a rehearsal live. Ask questions to the audience members, because Westerly, yes, it is a small town, but it's a town full and packed with talent. And, I know there are people out there that have wanted to have it in their heart and just, should I not?
That's a good point.
The backstage pass is a great opportunity for $10. Come see a rehearsal, come hang out with the cast.
Yeah, see if you want to be part of that as well.
I think that's what's helped me with auditioning and not being so scared of auditioning is going to more auditions.
Yes.
And I've actually learned from the people that I've had the honor to audition with, things I could do, how to convey certain things or whatever. You learn from picking up just watching, and just being there. So if you're rehearsals are probably really hard and everybody's really mean, and then you go to a grand theater rehearsal and you realize, oh, everybody's one big family. I've been searching for that my whole life.
Exactly.
I often think that the thing that's keeping you from chasing your dream is safety.
Yeah. And I think that is very true. And Granite Theater is so safe. So safe.
No, I mean the opposite way. In other words,
No, Granite Theater is safe.
Yeah, it is.
No, not physical safety. I'm talking about
Comfort.
safety,
Yeah.
In the future. If I was taking the safe route, I would go work at a low town restaurant. If I wanted to take the risky route, I'd go open my own food truck. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
It's
Yeah,
it's like people say fear doesn't prevent death. It prevents living.
Right.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
James with the mic drop on the way out.
Gosh.
Can we cut that and I can just fall asleep to that every
Right?
night as a
On that
mantra?
note, live your dreams and don't live your life. Don't be scared. Come to the theater.
Yes.
GraniteTheater.org and buy your season tickets now.
Or buy me a new pair of headphones. Your choice.
Season tickets.
Season ticket.
Season tickets. If you
choice.
guys, if the people watching this show buy enough season tickets, and these two things have nothing to do with each other, but if you guys buy enough season tickets, and Nicole can tell me how much that is, I will personally buy DJ a new set of headphones.
Can I get one of these?
No.
And if you
wow,
buy
you hear
them
that?
up
A
in the
matching.
States.
That's a matching
Yeah, matching sponsorship.
there.
Yeah.
I want one with
And,
that microphone.
If you guys buy a season ticket, I'll give you a slice of one of my favorite tomato soup cakes.
Whoa.
What is a tomato soup cake?
What?
It's a cake with tomato soup in it.
Of course.
It's
And there we go.
Of course.
And there we go.
Thank
How
you
did
so
you not
much.
know that?
GraniteTheater.org. Nicole, thank you. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
I
Thanks for
really
having us.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're awesome. When does the show open? One more time.
March 7th, next Friday.
Go to the theater. Bye for now.
Jot it on your calendar.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, RoofRite is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.